What is up, guys? It's your boy TC back with another video. So we're back in Premier League action, and this time round it'll be against West Ham. So previously, well, in the first fixture of the season, we did manage to navigate past West Ham, but now I believe West Ham are a completely different beast since Pellegrini took over. At the moment they are in fine form, and there's a small matter of the returning Sami Nasri. So he obviously made an appearance recently in the FA Cup for them, and he did look like he was sort of not back to his best as such, but he was still playing at a good level, even though the opponents weren't really off a high level. He did actually come out and actually put in a good performance for them. So I do expect Sami Nasri to be actually featuring in the game against Arsenal. I do believe Manuel Pellegrini will play him on the psychological side of things for the player himself. Of course, he will be facing his former club, a club that he left. He left us really in a very peculiar situation, and it was very bad the way, in the manner that he left at the time to go to Man City. Of course, he did go to Man City, and he obviously won the league over there under Pellegrini, of course. So he is a player that he's got history with, and I do believe the focus will be mainly around Sami Nasri within the West Ham camp, and his return to Arsenal and his return into the Premier League. So it will be quite interesting to see him feature in that game and see how he will perform against us. But talking about ourselves, we are obviously sitting in 5th position in the league, and our position, that 5th position, is becoming precarious because, of course, Man United are 3 points behind us. They've gone on a fantastic run since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took over. They've won 4 in the trot in the league, and they're sitting 3 points behind us now. Of course, we've got Chelsea, who sit above us at 44 points. We have 41 points, and I do believe the gap needs to be closed. As it stands, if the form continues, of course, we've only won 2 in our last 5 in the league. We need to pick up the form. Of course, the wheels have sort of come off since we've obviously lost that undefeated run that we had. Fantastic run, not taking that away from the team, but we need to sort of kick on from now. If the form continues as it is, I do believe we won't be finding ourselves in the top 4. But at the start of the season, or in the earlier stages of the season, we were in fine form. If we could have maintained that form and stayed consistent, I do believe we would have had a great chance of getting into the top 4. But as it stands, I can't see us getting into the top 4. The form is significantly dropped, and these two teams, really, which we are fighting for that 4th position with Chelsea and Man United, and ourselves, of course, included, for that 1 position, is going to be extremely difficult. So the likes of Tottenham are about 7 points away from us, which is not a significant gap, to be honest, but they seem to be kicking on. They have stayed consistent. Of course, we beat them in the league, which was fantastic. As a fan, you want to see us beating our rivals, but they've stayed consistent and we haven't, and we need to start putting some points on the board. It's going to be extremely difficult, and the reason being that we also face Chelsea next week on the 19th. So again, that's going to be an extremely difficult challenge for us. If we can get some points off of Chelsea, that'll be fantastic. We will close the gap against them. But my only fear is if we lose that game after winning, let's assume that we win against West Ham, which is a game I am expecting to win, of course. If we do win against West Ham and we lose against Chelsea, Man United will be equal on points with us. So that's going to be an extremely difficult point for us to obviously try and maneuver forward from that particular point onwards and fight for that top 4 position. It's not all dead and buried as it stands. I do believe that we still have a good chance, but the form and the consistency needs to improve as we are going in. So last time out, we obviously faced Fulham. We ended up winning 4-1. Like I said, Aubameyang and Ramsey were obviously on the score sheet, and we will be talking about Ramsey. I'll be making a separate video in regards to Aaron Ramsey and his new deal, or his new club, I should say, but that's another story for another video. So that performance was quite convincing. Of course, after a couple of bad results here and there, we've obviously gone to Blackpool in the Carabao Cup as well, obtained a good result there. The youngsters obviously were fielded on that day. But in the league, we need to stay consistent. So, of course, I have reiterated in the 2 transfer videos that I've put out recently, the manager needs to strengthen, the club needs to strengthen this month. If we want to still mount a plausible challenge for the top 4, it's going to be difficult if we don't bring anyone else in. But we can still do it. It's not all dead and buried. As I said, we can still mount for that challenge. So let's talk about a bit of injury news. People that are returning to training. Of course, we've got 6 players returning to training, and this may certainly help us kick on with our results. Hector Bellerin is coming back into the side, so he has returned to full training. Will he feature against West Ham? That's for the manager to obviously decide. Laurent Koscielny, he picked up a little niggle and he's back in training. Mavropanos back in training as well, full training. Skodran Mustafi, he's back in full training. Nacho Monreal and Mesut Ozil. So these are guys coming back into the first team. And to be honest, that was quite a hefty injury list, of course, in terms of first team players. Apart from Mavropanos and Koscielny, of course, the rest of the guys, those 4 other guys were first team players that feature within the first team, of course. And we've got some long-term absentees in the form of Mkhitaryan, Holding, as well as Danny Welbeck. The last 2, Holding and Welbeck, are extremely long-term absentees from the team. I don't think we will be seeing them anytime soon, but that's some injury news there from the team. So as expected, as mentioned as well, I do believe we can go ahead and win this game, but of course West Ham are a completely different beast at the moment. One thing that can certainly play in our favour would be the fact that Arnautovic is subject to a potential bid from China. So of course we do know that Arnautovic is getting on in age, as well as the fact that if someone's moving to China, there will be an extremely high wages, and I do believe that he will be taking this option. So hopefully that will play a part in the game coming up, and he won't feature, or if he does feature, he won't be performing at his usual level. Of course, he's the main danger man for West Ham, but I do believe that this is a game that we can win, and this is a game that we should win. If we don't win this game, again, those will be dropped points. Any game from now onwards is going to be extremely crucial in terms of our challenge to get into the top 4, but it's going to be an interesting running towards the end of the season. Not long to go, of course. We've still got the other half of the season to play, but the fixtures come thick and fast, and before you know it, we're in April and then we're in May, and the season is completely done. But as usual, guys, please do let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, please do make sure that you do hit that subscribe button. So once again, guys, your boy TC from I'm Gonna Talk TV, and I'm out.